So let's talk about the application elements. These are pretty simple concepts. This is what you're using that foiling comb for, to separate the hair and put into the foil. So a couple of these I'm sure you're familiar with and you use them in the salon all the time. I know I always have, and that is the weave and the slice. And we know what a weave is like. We've been weaving for years. I'll pass these out to you guys too. And then we have a slice, which is a slice. It is a bold slice of color that you're applying inside that foil. So a couple techniques that are new and unique to Kenra would be our skip slice, which we have used in past collections. So if you're not familiar with the skip slice, this is what it's going to look like. It is a slice. You'll skip a little section and then continue on with your slice. This is what that's going to look like inside your foil. You can see a slice, skip, continue on with the slice. So this is going to give you bold pops of color with a soft diffusion peeking through the middle. So that little peak or that little skip could be your foundation color, your anchor, your natural tone, whatever you decide it to be. Just know it's something that's just going to break up that skip a little bit and give you a little bit of diffusion. So the key to the skip slice is you want to make sure you vary where that skip is. If all of the skips are in one place, then you'll have one bold low light going down the middle. So move it around. And what this is going to do for you is to make it look like you've done a ton of work when really you've just done a simple skip slice and a foundation or anchor color. So that's pretty cool. So new to this collection, we are introducing the micro skip. So the micro skip is pretty cool. It's everything all in one foil. So we have our micro weave, a skip, and then continues on with the slice. This is what that will look like inside of your foil. Slice, skip, microwave. First, it can go either way, depending on what look you're going for. If you have a person that wants a soft diffused color in their part, but still wants to see bold pops of color peeking out, then you'll do the weave on the top and the slice in the bottom. You'll still have your little skip in the middle. And if you want somebody, maybe they do want bolder pops of color through their part, flip it around. Put that slice on the top and then do your micro weave down here. So it's completely versatile. You can switch it around depending on what look you're going for. You guys excited to try that today? Me too. Well, let's talk about the look we're creating today. This is Boho Blonde, and you guys all have the head sheets in your manuals to follow along with, and we have them written up here. And we have brought a beautiful model in today to help bring this look to life. So you can really see how the partings and sectionings will look on an actual head. So, step one, we have to section her out. You can see in the diagrams that you have, we're going to section zone 1 from zone 2. That's our step 1. And you don't have to think too much about her part right now. We'll deal with that section later, just however her hair naturally lays. We're going to start this from just above her ear back to the apex of her crown. From both ears to there. You don't want to do a straight harsh line. You also don't want to do a really curved line. We're just going to naturally follow the shape of her head from the top of that ear to that apex. Now, one of the things that I like to take into consideration is, do they have a whirl? Does their hair part strange in the back? Does it separate on the day 2 after they've shampooed it? So take that into consideration and decide, do you want this to go below that whirl or above it? How are you going to address that so she doesn't freak out the next day that she has a big dark spot back there or something? So there's our first side, very soft, natural, going right to the apex. The second side will start there and still go right to the top of her opposite ear. Very soft, not super curved, not super straight, just following her head around. And what we really want to do is get all of this out of the way because we are starting in the back. Okie doke. So we can see, nice soft, and there's her little whirl that she has. It's fighting me. So let's get to the back of her head. As you can see in your diagrams, this is a basic brick lay pattern. So it's pretty simple. I don't know if you've ever worked with a brick lay pattern before, but if you have not, you will today, and I think you'll love it. Section 1, we're going just from the top of her right ear to that left bottom corner. Just a nice diagonal line. So top of the ear, bottom left corner. And then we'll clip all of this out of the way because we're not using it right now. So you guys can see that? She's sticky. See where we're going with it? This is where we're going to introduce hand painting to this look. This is just surface painting. We're not trying to saturate the color all the way through. We're just painting on the surface so you see all of those bright pops when all of her hair is down. So this section, we'll kind of pull it to the side so it's just coming straight off of that section line, and we'll hand paint this entire top section just on the surface. Generally when you do this, you want to keep your brush flat. That ensures that the lightener stays just on the top and you're not soaking it all the way through. Now variations to this. Maybe your person does want to be solid bright at the ends. So in that case, you could surface paint up here, completely saturate those ends. If you want to do a foundation color or give her a shadow root, you would apply that first and then go back and do your surface painting or saturating the ends, whatever you decide to do. With this look, we're just surface painting. All right, so once you've painted on there, you're going to just let that drop. You don't need to clip it. That's just for you guys. So that's our first section. Pretty cool, right? Every other section is going to be brick-laid off of that, and we're doing the same thing. We're going to be surface painting on the top of each section, or if you decide foundation or how you want to customize it, perfect. But for us, we're just surface painting. Section number 2. You're going to take this first section and somewhere in the middle, about there, to the top of her left ear. So that is going to be your second section. You see that? This section, we'll comb it down, keep it all nice, and surface paint. You're done surface painting, you will just let that lay right there where it lays. I'm clipping it just to show you guys. So you'll see one side's laying this way, one side's laying this way. This is the theme we're following in the back here. Section number 3. Imagine halfway between here and here, halfway between here and here. So we're making another diagonal line, kind of following this one. We're going from here to the middle of there. And that is going to be our third section. We'll take this guy, get him nice and smooth, and then surface paint. And let that fall right on top of the previous section. Good. Section 4, we're cutting the third section in half. And just going, same thing, cutting this part in half, cutting this part in half. Nice straight line. Those sections are not perfectly square or perfectly diamond or perfectly triangle. They're just going with her natural hair. Let's see if I can lift her up. You see what's happening there? We'll take this section, hand paint, and just let it lay on top of the previous section. So your last section should be a nice little triangle there at the top. Can you see that? This is most likely what you're going to see on the top. So really keep in mind how much lightness or darkness or whatever you want in here. But just like the previous sections, you're hand painting and then letting that lay. Cool. All right, so that's our back section. You can see how they're laying. Going back and forth, just letting them fall naturally. So at this point, we're going to be moving to the front. Some of the hair might lay across this, so if this were a live person with hair color, I might lay a press and seal or something over, but she's not, so I'm just clipping this all out of the way. So it's not fighting us the whole time. So we can move on to the front section. So the front section. With this, you want to go with however she parts her hair. Does she have a natural part? Does she go one way or the other? With her, she kind of has a natural middle part, so we're working off the middle. The whole point of boho blonde is to be soft and natural. So with this, we're doing a zigzag part. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be. Just kind of zigzaggy. See? Just a zigzag part. And then clip one side and the other out of the way. So we're going to start on this side. This is going to be completely up to you how many foils you put in and how you want it to look. For this sake, we'll do about 4, maybe 5 foils. But depending on your person, you might want to do more or less. Maybe she wants to have some lighter around the face, completely up to you. This entire section, and if you look here, you can see they're diagonal backs. This is what we're doing up here. So you're starting from her ear to the middle of her head. Straight across. And that's going to be your first section. Do you see that? It's just one straight diagonal. This entire section, we're going to be going, following that all the way from this hairline, all the way to that apex. So you can leave, these don't have to be baby micro sections, you can space them out a little bit. For her, we're doing about 4 or 5. And this is where we're bringing in our micro skip. So I like to do the micro skip first, and then clip that out of the way and do my hand painting. You can do it either way you want. So with here, we'll do our slice, skip, and then our microwave. And can you guys see what that's going to look like? There's our slice in the bottom, our microwave towards the top. Cool. So this is going to go in the foil. So once you apply this on the foil, all the way up to the scalp, maybe you do a buffered root, however you want to do it, clip that foil out of the way, bring this down, and this is where you'll be doing your hand painting. Now, like in the back, if you decided that you're doing a foundation color, you would apply the foundation color, then do your hand painting, and just let that lay. You'll drop your foil down, and then you'll do your next section. These are straight. We're not curving, we're not angling it anyways, they're just straight diagonals all the way to that apex. So your next section falls down. I do my slice, skip, microwave. Got that. Apply my foil, clip the foil out of the way, bring my next section, and do my hand painting. Drop the foil, and you continue that on all the way to the top. You'll take you another slice. I'm doing these about 1 inch apart. This is supposed to be really soft and lived in, so this will be my slice, skip, microwave in the foil, and then we'll hand paint here. Are you guys feeling good about this? Perfect. So by the end, all of this will be laying forward, some in foil, some not. And then we'll go on to the other side and do the same thing all the way back to the apex. Sound good? I'm excited to try this with you guys.